This is here the all-new Mercedes CLA. It will come both all-electric and also still with the combustion engine. And with this vehicle here, Mercedes wants to take back technology leadership. Because in the past years, you know, what once was maybe that the German cars were really leading in all technology and it stood out and everyone was dreaming about German cars. New manufacturers have risen, and especially from the Chinese manufacturers, they have presented new technology, especially in infotainment and also charging, electric and so on. Now Mercedes says Germany wants to strike back as for the car industry, and let's see, can this new CLA do it? We'll find out with Thomas Nautegefühl in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go. This one here, the all-new front. The most interesting thing to me is here, this new grille. In the electric version, it will be like this. You have the small or tiny stars. And optionally, they are illuminated, as you can see it right here. And also the logo is illuminated. In the US model, by the way, or North American market, also the ring is illuminated around. That was not allowed in the EU. Yeah, sometimes strange regulations indeed. And also, you see here, this is also the Mercedes star. Well, supposed to be, but it's not correctly in corporate identity because it was not allowed by law to make it in real corporate identity. So they had to somehow change it a little bit. Yeah, sometimes there are strange laws, but the manufacturers can also not do anything against this. But the most remarkable thing is, I think, that the grille is split from the rest of the main headlamp unit, and then also this light strip goes around. And I think that's the only design problem maybe, because I think it looks great here, but then this top part looks like it's not really connected, you know what I mean? The base model would have no illumination here behind. It would have the same structure also with the tiny stars, but they are not illuminated. That's an option. And also these here are the optional matrix LED, the multi-beam LED, so-called in Mercedes. And so the base model would also have this star structure on the inside, but again, not illuminated. Yeah, that's always a problem with the German manufacturers, that so many stuff is optional. And the combustion engine model, by the way, it won't look too different. It will have the illumination at the inside of the grille, but not the illuminated stars, because there some air has to flow through. But the rest of the design is, no matter if you go electric or with the combustion engine, more or less the same. The length is 4 meters and 70 or 185 inches. And it's also, in comparison to the predecessor CLA, a little bit higher actually. This is, of course, the reason behind it, that you have the battery pack in the lower part in the electric version. And this new platform is called MMA. It's not mixed martial arts, but Mercedes modular architecture. And modular means they build it on the same platform, electric and also combustion engine, a path that BMW has taken, for example, also in the past years. And you know that Mercedes went separate architecture, for example, for the EQS and so on, the EQE. Now they're going back again. So yeah, it's always a question, so many things to consider there, and always has pros and cons, definitely. Wheels from 17 to 19 inch. These here are the 19-inch wheels, also the biggest ones that are available. This lower graphic here is AMG line, and then if you have AMG line Plus, which includes the night package, then you have black frames around, also black caps here on the mirror, just around there on the top. The lower part here is black, otherwise you would, in the base model without the black package and so on, you have more chrome elements around the car. And then this AMG line Plus also adds this small black spoiler lip right here, which would again just not be there actually. And you can already see at the rear, interesting design here also, once again with this Mercedes star, which is not the CI Mercedes star. And then this dot structure here goes around. In the front, by the way, it's 142 LED. In the rear, it's 40 LED. And when you hit the turning indicator, that's also very interesting. Here in the rear, I think it could be a little bit larger because it's just like this very, very tiny part. But in the front, it looks quite cool and also covers a wider part, definitely. Here in the AMG line, you also have the black contrast in the lower part. Again, it would look a little bit more subtle in the base model. And of course, we have to talk about all the facts and figures, because this will be so crucial about this vehicle. 800-volt charging architecture. So that means there's no 10 to 80% state of charge value yet, but they say that in 10 minutes you can charge 300 kilometers or 190 miles of range. We have to see about that, and of course, and we will test it for you. Two battery sizes, either 58 kilowatt hours or 85 kilowatt hours. The small battery is an LFP chemistry battery. The big battery is NMC. And for this battery is at the moment also like this, this charging value, 320 kilowatt maximum DC peak, 11 kilowatt AC charging so far. And the charging port is here. Quite interesting how it pops open, right? AC, DC, then you just close it here again. So this is then here the passenger side of the vehicle. So what kind of range can we calculate with? The official figures almost go up to 800 kilometers, a little bit less, or 500 miles. But even if we, calculate something, a little bit less, but because the realistic values are not equal the official values, but that would still mean a realistic value for the big battery, maybe some 600 kilometers or 370 miles. So what's quite clear is that with this kind of drag coefficient, which is more aerodynamic than the Tesla Model 3, just a little bit less aerodynamic than the Mercedes EQS because that's even longer, this will be super efficient on the road. That is already quite clear. Maybe not with the 19-inch wheels, because it also makes the tires wider and so on, but it will be a very, very aero-efficient vehicle, and that also brings down the consumption, especially on motorway autobahn speeds. And that's maybe also something where they can take a technology leadership, because you've seen maybe recent Chinese car reviews here also on our channel, and they have so great figures and facts as for battery size, recharging and so on. But they are often not that efficient, especially on the motorway. When you go more than 100 kilometers an hour or more than 60 miles an hour, then suddenly the consumption goes way up and the range goes down. And I hope, and it seems like that this will not be the case here with the all-new Mercedes CLA. As for the combustion engine side, then of course we have something under the hood, but there's also something under the hood here with the EV version, showing that soon to you. So combustion inside we can calculate with a 1.5 liter petrol engine, 4-cylinder at least. I would have wished for 2 liter of displacement, but will probably be 1.5. And then 140, 170, 190 horsepower approximately in these regions there. And a mild hybrid system, 48 volt board net. Also again, everything trimmed to efficiency. The combustion engine model will be front wheel drive. The electric model will be rear wheel drive or all-wheel drive. And for the electric version, actually quite good in the acceleration. You either have 6.7 seconds with the rear-wheel driven version or 4.9 seconds with the all-wheel drive version. And now let's check out here under the hood. Is there a Frunk or not? What are your guesses? By the way, really beautiful, these power dome hoods here. They don't serve any practical reason or something like that. Oh, by the way, here I don't have to do an additional unlock. That's also practical. And here, 100 liters of Frunk. It's quite good. You can also remove this mat if you like, so you don't have to have it, but you can. So this is a very well usable trunk. And yeah, of course, as soon as the possibilities for driving, we do it for you, and both also with the electric version and the combustion engine version that will come at a later stage. And talking about later stage, you've seen that this one here is the classic CLA sedan form. They also speak of coupe-ish. It's always a question of the definition. But this one will also be available as a shooting brake. So then you have even more space in the trunk. Shooting brake version will then be a little bit more flexible, maybe also with the headroom. And on this architecture here, there will be more cars to come. It can also do 22 kilowatt AC charging, by the way, this platform. Maybe it will come later for this vehicle. We have to see about that. But there will also be SUVs, for example, on the very same platform and also approximately in that size and so on. So very interesting things to come from this platform here, definitely. Heat pump, by the way, is also possible. We have to see in which, sometimes, for example, the Southern European markets make it optional. Then again, in Northern Europe, is it standard? We have to see about the market logics there, but there's at least one available. We don't have the brochures yet. And the heat pump will take residual heat from the cabin, from the battery, and also from the drivetrain. So 3 possible sources, and then optimize everything. And some more color and trim for you. This is here a matte black color in the special first edition. And this black Magno color not supposed to be available later on. However, they will offer the gray Magno matte color. That one will be available. This one here, once again, the electric version. You can see here this illuminated grille, which is an option, and the split lamp in the top bar. There you can see also how it works with a darker color actually. And this is here the combustion engine model, the mild hybrid petrol engine. And the only difference you can see here is, well, first of all, this is like a new mint color. It looks grayish, also has some kind of blue tone. But the main difference is here, the grille is open here for the cooling, but then you can get an illumination grille like in the Mercedes E-Class, so to speak. And what I said initially here with this split between the grille and the upper headlamp part, there I think it becomes even more obvious when you pick a bright color. You know what I mean? So honestly, I would have you know, stay with this grille, but then just make like a slim headwind unit there, and that's it. I think this combination, I think you should either do either this or that, you know what I mean? But you see not much of a difference between the combustion engine model and the electric one, only that you have this grille. I think both grilles look actually quite cool. And the silhouette, like side profile and so on, here we also have 19-inch wheels. This is like a non-aerodynamic design, so to speak, but the base silhouette is once again the same and very central, and the main outline is very clean. That's what I like. And here in the rear you can see it is really absolutely the same design. And exhaust-wise, we don't see anything. We also don't see any fake exhaust and so on. We can see that the exhaust is really way underneath there. And here, in comparison, this one is without AMG Line Plus, so without the additional spoiler lip, and I think clearer and more beautiful, this like a simpler design. I would definitely get one without AMG Line Plus, but I think it looks way better and cleaner when it doesn't have this sticked-on small wing. Or what's your take on that? Now to the interior in front. Interesting here, we know this key fob, but then again, now it's flatter. So it's the same key fob than before, just smaller and flatter. Interesting, but feels really nice and cool. Here these door handles, they pop out when you close the vehicle, or here when you open the vehicle, they come towards you. Maybe a little bit over-engineering, and also here this feedback they give, that always a little bit clunky, so to speak. Then here, frameless doors, so it's coupe style. No dual lamination though, gotta say that. I have to test on the motorway later on. And closing sound. That's actually quite solid, considering it's frameless. Has a little bit of G-Class feeling to it, with this, you know, high pitch. What do you think about that? And then inside of the doors, this here with a nice ambient light integration here in blue in this case, a leatherette cover on the top, contrast stitching. And also here, this is beautiful because you have like a soft pattern underneath already in the front. And news or return of this seat control. It looks a little bit more futuristic, and before that in the old Mercedes days you could move them. Then they were new, but you could not move them, but still something happened. Now it's something in between. So they listen to mine and also to your feedback, because again, now you can click them. You have a clicking sound and they move again. So they have some kind of feedback, and that's good because then you know again what you are doing actually with the seat control.
But no seat heating,
but no seat heating button. Yeah, because usually there was the seat heating button here, or the save for the memory seats and so on. But that has gone now. So it's pro and con, so to speak. But there you can see that this feedback channel, I always tell you that, you know, we're reading your comments and you give suggestions what you want to see from the manufacturer. Then I talk to the engineers and the product managers, say like, hey, our viewers have said this and this, and 10 guys have said they want physical buttons again and so on, and then of course they can do something with it. And sometimes it works, sometimes not. And you see sometimes it works, but then again something else is being taken away again. So that's also the thing, I'm really always pushing for physical buttons and so on. And the manufacturers are also taking that one into account. But the reaction of this feedback sometimes takes years, of course, to implement it in new cars. That's about it. Then the steering wheel, this is the AMG. Oh, Leah wants to check out the, Leah always wants to check out the illuminated entry.
Ooh, that's nice.
You can even feel that. That's stamped in. That's nice. Also illuminated, nice. AMG line floor mats, and also the AMG line steering wheel with 2 spokes. However, then here with capacitive controls on the steering, which is not my favorite. A little bit more updated, different design now, but you slide, and that's not ideal while driving, I feel. The base steering wheel would have like a closed design here, like 2-spoke, like this here, 2-spoke, and the closed one has 2 elements, but overall like 1 element here, 1 element there. That would be the base steering wheel. The steering wheel material, at a later stage, you can also order it animal-free, but it's not standard. Then here, the seats.
Oh wow, and that's a crazy air vent.
Oh, yeah. And then here, this crazy large air vent. You have clicking sound there, illumination, so that looks really cool. So yeah, I like this. Maybe for some it's too much. I like it because it looks somehow turbine style. Then here, these are the sport seats. You can see it has this integrated headrest form, but for the first time in this segment, you can also put this one here forward, this head restraint. A little bit hard to push it back again, maybe with, yeah, there we go. So it's easier to put it to the front. There will also be a base seat called Progressive available. This will probably be more open design. We have to see that at a later stage. And here, fabric in the middle, then microfiber use here, so also nice quality, and leatherette on the outside, so this seat is animal free. You can also get a fabric article leatherette mix for the normal seat. This one in here exclusive for the sport seat, this special pattern also with a white contrast, and you can also get a full article leatherette, so like this high-grade leatherette we see also here at the inside of the doors. This would also be available as a full seating material. They still offer animal skin, and I think they should be more consistent in saying like, hey, we get the best material, but yet again, the most animal-friendly material. It's out there, but Mercedes is offering a lot. I think they could do a little bit more in that respect. Because what we also get from you as feedback, often there is a problem on the UK and also on the Northern American market with Mercedes, because they only pick very specific trim levels, and then you're stuck with that, and then sometimes people from the UK and from the US message me like, hey, you've presented this Mercedes car, I want this seat or this option, but it's not available on the UK, on the US market. Why is that? Yeah, because it's really strange. Some of these importer organizations then really limit the offer, but sometimes in a strange way and not really what the customers really want. But that's a very, very wide topic. The question is, how is the seat ergonomics, the seating comfort? Me with 189, 6'2", I still have enough headroom left here to this fixed panoramic glass roof. To the side, gets a little bit closer, but that's actually fine. You sit relatively high in the vehicle already because of this battery sandwich architecture. It will, especially here in the front, be more or less the same probably with the petrol engine. We'll keep you updated on that later. These sport seats here are relatively tight. I would not say they are designed for tall people. And also the bolstering underneath is kind of stiff. So the surface is nice, but underneath it could be plusher. It could be more Einsatzhöhe, more seating depth. So honestly, I would have expected more comfort. That's also a thing with Mercedes seats in the last, I would say, 10 years. That you look at them and say like, wow, they look amazing, great sporty design and also nice materials here. But then the real comfort is like not the priority. And I think seating design should be comfort first and then design, like form follows function, old design scheme. But here definitely, I think the seats should be more comfortable, definitely. Steering wheel, here manual control. Up and down, in and out. It's a very smooth process. I like it. And definitely now the elephant in the room. You've maybe already seen it, this screen layout here. So we have 10-inch instruments. They are not too large, but that they fit together in this one unit. Then 14-inch main infotainment unit. Soon more details to that. And 14-inch passenger screen. This is an option. So otherwise you would have like a design element, which is also backlit, which looks quite nice. I think we can live with that. And here's really the market split. So Chinese customers often expect this passenger screen because stuck in traffic for hours and want to watch a movie on a proper large screen instead of using their own smartphone. Or maybe this use case, hey, you have like small flats, then you go into your vehicle to have some privacy time and so on. But the US and the European customers say like, what do I need the passenger screen for? Who cares? Just leave it out. So this is like really a market split, so to speak, but you don't have to take it. And also on the right side here, a great turbine vent, looks cool, illuminated, and once again, clicking sound. This looks really spectacular. They also call it super screen, like in the Mercedes E-Class, by the way. Here, this in the front, you can, by the way, make it a little bit longer. Glove box here. Folds down. Oh, this is also a scheme about this vehicle. Yeah, you can even play games here. Nice closing sound. Then the middle console, you have this aluminum look here, but different looks are available, and I've already seen it in a design workshop. They have matte wood, which looks amazing indeed, and they have a new paper surface which feels like wood but is made of a certain kind of paper and has a structure in it and is like almost white and bright, and that also looks amazing. So they listened also to customer feedback here. The base is like a dark gray, but even that one is not supposed to be high gloss black. So here also listening to the feedback, not make everything high gloss black. The middle console here with the cup holders, by the way, you can fold them out when you press on here, but they won't hold the, for coffee cups is okay, but for bottles it's not that tight. But they're also working on new solutions going back to like 3-dot design like Audi does, for example. In the middle part here you have an inductive charging pad. When you put this one up, you see this is like a hole, but it's not a ventilation. This is misleading, so to speak. It's not actively cooled, just a little bit passively cooled. And what's also interesting that underneath you have 2 USB-C chargers with 100 watt each, and there's like a small hole here, and then I can, when I go with the I can touch my fingers here. So this is like a hole where you can pull a cable through from underneath, that you don't maybe need the inductive charging pad and charge with the cable. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay.
You can't turn it off, the charging.
Yeah, if you ordered the inductive charging pad, so far they said it's not possible to turn it off or something like that. In the infotainment screen, most obviously, there are hardly any buttons left. That means, yeah, you have to control everything inside. There's like a small control layer in the lower part. You see here, this is one button. The whole thing is one button, and then with capacitive control here also for the drive select, for example. And then here for the climate unit, at least it's in the first layer. So for a touchscreen solution, it's quick. And look here, it also reacts in a quick way. By the way, if you look at the right turbine vent, there we have this typical Mercedes effect again, that it's also signalizing if you put it warmer or colder. So what I already see right here is that the screen is way quicker than before. And why is that? First of all, there's a Qualcomm chip behind that with high processing power, and then they're combining Google and Microsoft AI. So when you talk to the vehicle with the voice control, it uses the Gemini voice recognition, because that's actually pretty good. But then again, if you go into like a general web search, it's either using Microsoft Bing for the web search, or if it's more like a knowledge question, it's using the Microsoft Chat GPT to interpret it, what you are saying, and then getting the knowledge. It will not say where the source is. So some other ChatGPT integration then says, according to ChatGPT, blah, 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 blah. Here it doesn't do that, you know? So you have this seamless integration of different services, and you just talk to the vehicle, and then you get your answer, but you don't really know where it's from. But that's their approach. And also, you see here, Google Maps data sources, it says. So it's sourced from the traffic information and the route recalculation, the basic one, from Google Maps, but it does not look like Google Maps. It looks like Mercedes GPS. That's again that Mercedes wants to keep their own user interface. We also see that here, for example, at the passenger screen. And you see it's a way leap forward. Look at that, when I just swipe left and right, it's way more fluent in how it appears, how it looks, good screen quality. So this is indeed a big step forward as for the infotainment quality. Driver POV, once again here these sliding buttons, you can also press them. Oh, do you hear that? Uh-oh. Okay. Well, about that, and also here, you can change the views a little bit like this. Yeah, it's a modern interpretation of this layout. You can also get a head-up display. Then the climate unit here, warmer and colder. Here you toggle the main climate menu, and then left next to it, if you want to activate seat heating or steering heating, one press here, then you activate the seat heating right there, or the steering wheel heating, at least only like 2 steps for 2 layers. And here, when you click on vehicle here, there you can change some main vehicle functions. So it is definitely quicker than before, especially here in the in these main menus and so on. Sound experience, you also of course here the optional burn is the sound system. This is like the sound worlds where it also changes like in the acceleration and so on. The only thing really that the GPS, there you can see, for example, when you have like a super modern Chinese EV now, this is even quicker than when you control the maps and so on. And using the Mercedes internal GPS, again, Google Maps basis, but then it also takes into account the state of charge, efficiency on the last trip, and also the weather conditions, cold, warm, and so on. And then it also automatically calculates the charging stops, where and how long. And here a quick look, if you do not have the passenger screen, then you have here this black pattern, but you have somewhat backlight from behind with a small star pattern here. Just activate it, there you can see it shines from behind. Then also depending on the color you have chosen. And here once again the turbine air vent. Hey Mercedes.
Yes.
Why is the banana curved?
Bananas are curved due to the way they grow. As they develop on the plant, they grow upwards towards the sunlight, causing a curvature. This growth pattern helps them maximize sunlight exposure for photosynthesis.
And you might know the curves from the VW ID models, that here you have 2 window levers, and then you press rear, and then you control the rear windows. Well, and Leah's part here for today is playing Angry Birds at the passenger screen. Now to the rear, very important. Then here, first of all, there's like a leather red covering from the inside here as well. And what I really like is that, look at that, you can see it underneath my finger. This has a soft background. So that's cool that you have like this plush surface underneath. By the way, no laminated windows, you can feel it here. So it's no dual lamination or something like that. And here, also no covering at the inside of the back doors here in the rear. But this is like the best area here, also with the plush covering underneath, basically. Then, in this case, we also have the same design like in the front with a small fabric strip here, then here the microfiber and the leather outside. Again, has to be seen if this seat is also available for all markets. That's sometimes not the case. We have to see about that. Isofix on the outside each. These are like fixed clips, however, they don't fold or something. And then here, you can fold on this. There's a smartphone holder. Cup holders are not adaptive. And then here, so always shown to you, this is like the ski hatch here for the middle part. There we go. In the middle console, here 2 USB-C chargers. There we go. And also nice turbine air vents. And they have also clicking sounds. Ah, that's nice. And pretty cool, by the way, the USB-C charger 4 times. So 2 in the front, 2 in the rear. And each charger is supposed to have 100 watt. And yeah, then you can easily charge 4 MacBook Pros by that. So this can be a production machine, basically, for editing. Yeah, and now as for the space we have, first of all, this always comes with this panoramic glass roof. And the reason is exactly here. I'm 189 6'2", as you might know, a subscriber. And without a glass roof, I could not fit here. And that's also the reason why you see almost all electric vehicles having a glass roof now and also no manual cover, because they need that space. At the same time, it should be kept low for the aerodynamic efficiency. To the side, it gets closer with the head, so you have to keep your head upright, basically. And then later there will also be an electrochrome function available. So either like this, it will always be a glass roof, but optionally then the electrochrome shade. Mercedes claims, however, that like the sunlight intensity that comes into the vehicle from the outside with this special tinting that's also on the standard glass roof, it's supposed to be at least same, if not even a little bit better in comparison to a normal glass roof with a manual shade. Interesting, definitely. However, a fixed roof, of course, would always be better, as we know, keeping the sun rays out and so on. Yeah, that's why some Tesla Model 3 or Model Y owners in Texas wrap their cars, their glass roofs from the outside. So it will always be hotter in a car with a glass roof without a cover in comparison to a fixed roof. Gotta take that into consideration. So headroom works somewhat. Legroom, you see, this is to me the main problem of the vehicle, not necessarily the legroom itself. Here you see I fit in here in the rear as a tall adult, but this is also an electric vehicle problem. They make the batteries as a sandwich pack underneath, and then it raises the floor. Some vehicles, rarely, like the Porsche Taycan, Audi e-tron GT, they have foot garages just where your feet are in the rear, and then your feet are lower. And usually in combustion engine vehicles, I would have more like like this angle for the knees. But now my feet are high and you see my knees are always almost at my ears, you know. And that is a problem for ergonomics. So I feel then for this reason a little bit lost in here. But you see space-wise it does still fit. And once again, like the surfaces here, especially with the microfiber, it's a very good microfiber quality. Just once again, the seat cushioning, the Einsitzhöhe, the seating depth could be better for a premium vehicle here, definitely. So I feel there maybe a little bit more softness could be better. Yeah, definitely it's not too bad to sit here from the overall comfort. But you see the problem of this concept, and we have to see later if the petrol version, which is sealed off here today still, we can just take a look at it from the outside, if the petrol version maybe have more like of this foot garages, or if the petrol version will be exactly the same. This will be a very interesting comparison to come later. Then here, flipping the logo, opens the trunk. This is only 405 liters. You see it's kind of shallow. But I think the most important thing is what we always do with Autogefühl, take the measures. And here we go. You see here the cabin trolley does fit in vertically, but here, yeah, kind of goes out like this. Then the normal length is about 1 meter or 40 inches. And then here between the wheel arches is also about 1 meter or 40 inches. Just here on the very far part, then they're using all the width, and there you go, even to 1 meter 40 or 55 inches, but just here in this very front area there. And of course the total length, then I folded here the seats, it's like individually. You can fold this one, this, or these two, so you're kind of flexible in that respect. And to the front seat as I'm driving is 185 or 73 inches. And last but not least, the height. Here we are at 48 centimeters or 19 inches. So yeah, could definitely be larger, but the shooting brake will offer you more flexibility than in this respect. And the charging cable, either in the frunk or there's like an additional cover. Here you can put this one open. I mean, there's maybe for a small additional cable or something like that, that would also be possible. And the trunk lid here is, by the way, electric. Then just listen to that. Whoa, that one like really pushes down, right? As for prices, we don't have any exact information yet, but what we can estimate, if you go to your car configurator in your market, check out the Mercedes EQA and also the existing CLA, and maybe add something on top of that for the petrol and for the electric version each, so that we can maybe start in some regions of around 50,000 euros, something like that. But it also depends, because there's a small battery coming later as an entry, and also the petrol price as the entry-level version will be cheaper than the electric one, and so on. So we'll have you updated on that at a later stage. The big question, of course, was initially, can this be again a technology leadership vehicle? And I think in efficiency, yes, it definitely can be. Of course, soon we will drive it also for you, but when I read all the figures, and at this moment we think that's also true, but of course we'll test it for real. And if you just think about the battery size and then also the drag coefficient and so on, and also the technology behind it, this new platform, this can really be a long-haul EV as for the range. And because I think it's really crucial, because think about that you can put a big battery in the vehicle and you can maybe also do fast recharging, but when it's not efficient, then it's also annoying that you have to maybe like charge 2 or 3 times on your trip. But wouldn't it just be cooler if the main focus of the car, especially when it's electric, is efficiency, and you can just maybe go front and back at the same trip and then charge again at home, no matter what the speed is. But this charging speed will also be here no matter what. And of course, interesting that it will still be available as a petrol engine, because not everyone is ready yet as for the charging infrastructure, so they go this modular approach. So technology leadership in efficiency, that could very well be. As for the interior packaging and the comfort, there, honestly, I would have expected more from Mercedes. But of course, we'll also keep you updated when we see, for example, the different seats, the other non-sport seats and so on, and if the packaging is different in the petrol model and so on. So stay tuned here on our Autogefühl channel. Hit the notification bell and also check out now the competitor reviews.